Welcome to a world where words aren't just for chatting. They're like little spells that can totally change your life. It's called conscious language, and it's all about using your words on purpose to make awesome stuff happen. Imagine your words are like magic wands. When you say something, it's not just making noise, it's actually shaping the world around you. Pretty cool, right? So, in this video, we're going to dive into what conscious language is all about and give you some tips on how to use it in your everyday life. But here's the thing. With great power comes great responsibility, as they say in the superhero movies. So we'll also chat about making sure you're using your words for good, both for yourself and for everyone else. Ready to learn how to work some linguistic magic? Let's do this! Alright, so check this out. Language isn't just about chatting with your friends or scribbling notes in class. It's got this super cool mystical vibe that goes way beyond just the words themselves. Like, each word is like a little bundle of energy, and when we use them, we're basically casting spells. Kinda like wizards, but with words instead of wands. Think about it. Ever noticed how some words just hit you right in the feels? Like saying love can make you feel all warm and fuzzy, while fear can make you want to hide under your blanket. That's because words have this crazy power to reach deep down into your brain and stir up all sorts of emotions, shaping how you see the world. Now think about how you talk to yourself and others. Are your words all uplifting and positive, or are they dragging you down with negativity? Remember, every word you say doesn't just affect the people listening, it also affects you. So by using your words to spread good vibes and kindness, you're not just making everyone else's day better, you're also making your own reality a whole lot brighter. How cool is that? Alright, so let's talk about this cool thing called conscious language. Basically, it's like this superpower you have that lets you change your life just by how you talk and think. So instead of just blabbering away without thinking about it, conscious language is all about being mindful of the words you use. It's like paying attention to what you're saying and thinking, and realizing that every word has this crazy power to shape your world. See, when you use conscious language, you're not just randomly spouting stuff out. You're actually choosing your words on purpose, because you know they can make a real difference. It's like you're putting good vibes out into the universe, and those vibes can totally come back to you in a positive way. And get this, words aren't just sounds we make. They're like little energy packets. So, when you pick words that match up with what you want in life, you're kind of sending out these vibes that attract those things to you. It's like magic, but with words instead of wands. Oh, and here's a cool trick. By using specific language techniques, you can totally change how you see yourself and your life. Like, if you're always putting yourself down with negative self-talk, you can switch it up and start being your own biggest cheerleader instead. It's all about changing your internal dialogue to be more positive and empowering. So yeah, conscious language is basically about realizing the power of your words and using them to make your life awesome. How cool is that? Alright, let's dive into this fascinating stuff about water and how it's connected to our thoughts and words. So there's this awesome scientist named Dr. Masaru Emoto who did some really cool experiments with water. Basically, he found out that water can actually change its shape depending on what's around it. Like, seriously? Dr. Emoto did all sorts of tests where he exposed water to different things like words, music, and even thoughts. And get this, the water molecules actually responded to all that stuff. When they were around positive things like nice words or calming music, they formed these beautiful symmetrical crystals. But when they were around negative stuff like mean words or loud, harsh sounds, they kind of got all messed up and chaotic. It's kind of like water is this mirror reflecting back whatever energy it's surrounded by. So if you're thinking and saying positive stuff, you're basically making the water around you all happy and pretty. But if you're being negative, well, you're making things a bit chaotic. Now think about how this relates to our own lives. Our thoughts and words are like the energy that surrounds us, just like with the water. So when we're positive and kind, we're kind of shaping our world to be all nice and beautiful. But when we're negative or mean, well, things can get a bit messy. So it's kind of like we're all little wizards, using our words to cast spells and create our own reality. Pretty mind-blowing, huh? Totally. So, just like a painter carefully selects colors and brushes to create a masterpiece, we can choose our words with purpose to shape our world. It's not about waving magic wands or chanting weird spells. It's about realizing the incredible power of language and using it wisely. Think about it. Every word we say is like a brushstroke on the canvas of our lives. So, if we want to paint a beautiful picture, we gotta be mindful of the colors we're using, right? That means being positive, kind, and uplifting with our words. But here's the really cool part. By understanding how language works, we can actually make some pretty amazing changes in our lives. It's like knowing the secret formula to create the life we want. Throughout history, people have used this idea of spellcasting to intentionally create change. It's not about chanting weird words in ancient languages. It's about tapping into the power of our own words and intentions to make things happen. So, whether you realize it or not, you're already a spellcaster, shaping your reality with every word you say. Pretty wild, huh? But now that you know the secret, why not use it to create the most amazing life possible? After all, you've got the power right there in your own words. All right, let's talk about spellcasting. It's been around for ages and practiced by all sorts of folks, from the ancient Egyptians to today's modern witches. But no matter the time or place, one thing stays the same: the belief that words have some serious power. So at the heart of spellcasting is intention. That's like the clear idea of what you want to happen. When you say something with a strong intention behind it, it's like you're sending out this energy into the universe, making things happen. Spellcasting is super personal. It's all about digging deep and figuring out what you really want, then using your words to make it happen. So you gotta be super clear about what you're aiming for, and then choose your words carefully to match. It's not just about wishing for stuff and crossing your fingers. Nope, it's more like a step-by-step process. First off, you gotta know exactly what you're aiming for. No wishy-washy stuff allowed. Then, you pick your words carefully, making sure they match up with what you're trying to achieve. And finally, you gotta say those words like you mean it, with confidence and belief. That's what really makes the magic happen. So, let's break it down even more. Picture this. You're making a wish, but instead of just throwing it out there and hoping for the best, you're actually putting some muscle behind it. Step 1. You gotta know exactly what you're wishing for. None of that vague stuff. Like if you want a new bike, you gotta be clear about it. What color, what style, all that jazz. Step 2. Once you've got your wish all lined up, it's time to choose your words carefully. You want them to match up perfectly with what you're wishing for. So, if you're wishing for that new bike, you'd say something like, "I will get a rad new bike," instead of just, "I want a bike." And finally, step 3. You gotta say those words with some serious oomph. Like, really believe in what you're saying, you know? That's what's gonna make your wish come true. So, next time you're making a wish, remember, it's not just about saying the words, it's about putting some heart and soul into it. Who knows? You might just end up with that new bike after all. All right, let's keep this spellcasting adventure going with a few more steps. Step 4. Once you've said your magic words, it's time to get moving. Take some action that backs up what you're wishing for. Like, if you're wishing for good grades, hit the books and study hard. It's all about making your words and your actions work together like a dream team. Step 5. Now this one's important. Let it go. Trust that the universe has got your back and that things will work out in their own time. Don't get all hung up on exactly how or when your wish will come true. Just go with the flow and let the universe do its thing. So with these steps in your spellcasting toolkit, you're basically a wizard in training. By choosing your words wisely, adding in some action, and then letting go and trusting the universe, you're basically unstoppable. And hey, remember, spellcasting isn't about bossing the universe around or trying to control everything. It's more like dancing with the rhythm of life, you know? So, approach it with respect and reverence, and get ready to see some serious magic unfold in your life. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into the magical world of spellcasting. Step 4 is all about putting some action behind your words. It's like you're giving your wishes a little push in the right direction. So, if you're wishing for a fun summer vacation, start planning and saving up for it. It's all about making those wishes feel real by taking some steps to make them happen. And step 5? Well, that's where you gotta learn to chill and go with the flow. Once you've put your wishes out there and done your part, it's time to relax and trust that things will fall into place when they're meant to. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You can't rush the growing process, but if you've done your part, eventually, you'll see those beautiful flowers bloom. So think of spellcasting as this awesome dance between you and the universe. You're putting your intentions out there, taking some action, and then letting the universe do its thing. It's all about working together to create some serious magic in your life. And hey, always remember to approach spellcasting with respect and gratitude. You're tapping into some powerful forces here, so treat them with care and watch as your dreams start coming true. All right, let's dive into how these old school ideas can actually help us out today. Back in ancient times, people thought words were like magic spells. Like, if you said something out loud, it could totally make it happen. The Egyptians were all about this idea, and the Greeks thought words could totally shape how we think and act. They knew that words aren't just random. They're super powerful and can totally change our world. But guess what? We can use these ancient ideas right now to make our lives better. There are all sorts of cool techniques today that borrow from these old school beliefs. Take neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, for example. It's all about using words to change how we think and feel. By swapping out negative words for positive ones, we can totally change our mindset and start feeling awesome. And then there's meditation and mindfulness, which are like the superheroes of words. By paying attention to the words we use, both in our heads and out loud, we can totally level up our self-awareness game. And when we're more aware of our words, we can start making some serious positive changes in our lives. So whether you're into NLP, meditation, or just being more aware of your words, there's tons of ways to use the power of words to make your life better. It's like being a wizard, casting spells with your words to make your world amazing. Let's break down how ancient wisdom and modern ideas about using language come together to make some serious magic happen. So, back in the day, people were all about realizing that words aren't just noise. They're like little powerhouses that can totally change our lives. And guess what? We can still use that idea today to make our world better. By understanding where these ideas come from and learning some practical ways to use language in a conscious way, we can basically become wizards of our own reality. It's like having this awesome superpower where we can make cool stuff happen just by how we talk and think. But here's the thing. With great power comes great responsibility, just like they say in superhero movies. So, when we're using our words to shape our reality, we got to be super careful to use them for good. We're talking about being kind, supportive, and uplifting with our language, both to ourselves and to others. And speaking of others, it's super important to remember that not everyone might be into this whole conscious language thing. So, always make sure to ask for permission before you start throwing around your magic words. Everyone's got their own journey, and we got to respect that. So, whether you're using ancient wisdom or modern techniques, the key is to use your words for good and create a world that's awesome for everyone. It's like being a superhero, but instead of fighting bad guys, you're spreading positivity with every word you say. All right, let's dive into how to be mindful with our words in a way that's easy to understand. First off, we got to respect that everyone's different and might not be on the same page when it comes to this stuff. So it's super important to always be mindful of other people's boundaries and go at their pace. That's all about showing respect and creating a vibe of trust and understanding. Now, when it comes to using conscious language, it's all about holding ourselves accountable for what we say and how it affects others. That means taking a good, hard look at our intentions behind our words. Are they coming from a good place, or are they causing harm? If we mess up and say something that hurts someone, it's important to own up to it, apologize, and learn from our mistakes. We're all just trying to do our best, right? But hey, using conscious language isn't just about making our own dreams come true. It's also about lifting up others and making the world a better place for everyone. That means using our words to inspire, encourage, and support those around us. Whether it's speaking up for justice or just giving someone a kind word, every little bit helps. And hey, speaking of positive vibes, let's talk about affirmations. These are like little pep talks we give ourselves to help rewire our brains for positivity. By repeating positive statements about ourselves and our lives, we can kick those negative thoughts to the curb and start believing in our awesomeness. So, whether it's being mindful of others, holding ourselves accountable, or spreading positivity, using conscious language is all about making the world a better place, one word at a time. So imagine it like planting seeds of positivity in your mind. You water them every day by saying your affirmations, and eventually they grow into this big, beautiful garden of confidence and happiness. Research has actually shown that affirmations can change how our brains work. It's like they're flipping a switch in our minds, turning negative thoughts into positive ones. Pretty cool, huh? But here's the thing. You gotta choose affirmations that really resonate with you. They've gotta feel true and real, you know? So, if you're struggling with confidence, you might say something like, "I am strong and capable." And repetition is key. Make it a daily habit to say your affirmations, either out loud or in your head. You can even write them down and stick them somewhere you'll see them every day, like on your mirror or in your planner. So, next time you're feeling down or doubting yourself, try busting out some affirmations and see how they can totally change your mindset. Who knows? You might just end up feeling like a total superhero.